Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Blake Haynes here with the Fatboys and the Union, here bringing your 3 hot topics for the week. Before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce 2 new members of the FBI podcast team that we're getting to add on. Tanner Crawford, aka T-Sizzle. As Terrell Suggs, what his nickname comes from, said, you need a little bit of a dirt bag, in you. And with this guy, he brings a humor element that just on edge element that's amazing, and we're so happy to have Tanner. The other guy we're going to be adding in is Ray Munger. He's made some guest appearances for us, but now we're going to go ahead and just integrate him into the full team. I mean, he contributes so much. The knowledge there with football is, it's crazy. Just his track record of playing at Highland Community College, University of St. Mary there in Leavenworth, and it's just amazing. The dude is, he coached for St. Mary's. He's been in the scouting academy. It's amazing his knowledge of football, and just the work that he puts in, the research is outstanding. He's actually going to be doing our top 25 college football rankings here this next week, so be looking for that. He was already saying, hey, I got to get in depth with the depth charts and just check everything out just so we can nail down exactly what we're looking for. And I was like, absolutely, you're the man, Ray. So shout out to those 2 guys. Congratulations, welcome, happy to have you. But jumping into our 3 hot topics, for our first topic we got Reuben Foster's domestic case he's got going on, linebacker for the 49ers. Domestic violence is nothing to play around with. This is a huge issue, not just in the NFL, but NBA is looking into it. MLB. It's nonsense is what it is. It's unacceptable. Huge issue, around America, and it should be. Nobody should be putting, it just shouldn't happen. We'll just put it that way. He's up for 3 felony charges, last I knew. The girlfriend who presses the charges has, her proof of the phone's been broken. Physical, bruising, you can tell that she's been roughed up quite a bit. Then she tries to recant her statement after she realizes, what trouble he's in, and says that, it was with previous altercation. So she goes to the DA's office and brings in this, in my opinion, it's a bogus video. I'm just trying to clear his name, basically. If it wasn't, I don't think the DA would continue to prosecute like they are with the case. And it's an unfortunate event. The stuff like this shouldn't happen, but unfortunately it does. Reuben Foster, I'm going to go out here and say you're an idiot. You deserve to be punished. I hope, if, I've heard people say, well, innocent until proven guilty. Well, I don't think the DA's office would continue to prosecute if that video had any substance to it. I think that it would just be done and over with. And this, talking about domestic violence and this stuff, let's also jump into just a topic, that's similar to this. We watch these pro athletes, get in trouble for, really 2 main reasons if you see it anymore. It's, domestic violence, and it's, drug use, alcohol, use, stuff like that, DUIs, popping out for, cannabis, marijuana, stuff like that, PED stuff, all just nonsense. It really comes down, it boils down to 2 things. If you're a pro athlete, you want to make a whole lot of money, all this good stuff. Don't put your hands on people. Don't do drugs and, pop hot, obey the law. It's really that simple. Everybody else in America has to do it, so, why shouldn't you be held to the same standard? These guys, whine and cry about it. Everybody has these same laws, and you just can't follow them. I don't understand it. It's nonsense. And I hear a lot of people say, well, they're 20, 21-year-olds, blah, 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 what would you do if you had that kind of money? I'm not going to say that I wouldn't spend it like crazy, but you know what, I probably wouldn't be hitting people. I probably wouldn't be doing that because I'm not, dumb. And I wouldn't be, popping hot. I wouldn't be doing drugs, going out to clubs and Plaxico Burress in my, my leg and stuff like that. I just wouldn't be doing stuff like that. You know, whatever. Tired of the excuses. Figure it out. You're, as of 18 years old, you're an adult. You can vote. You can join the military, but you want to make excuses when you get in trouble. I'm done with it. Reuben Foster, I hope, if your situation is absolutely true, I hope the DA office, figures it out and you get punished for it. And I hope you get, suspended for it. That's ridiculous. Sorry about that. Topic number 2. We're going to talk about the Raptors firing Dwane Casey. I don't really understand it. A lot of Raptors fans, it seems like they're on the fence. There's no real gray area. You either like it, you don't. And that's just not only with Raptors fans, but the whole NBA community is what it seems like. 59 and 23 record this season. Top of the East, 4 better than the second place team. Celtics. I just don't understand it. I don't think it's so much of a coaching problem there as it is, like I said earlier. Cavs get into the playoffs with LeBron. LeBron in general gets into the playoffs. He runs into DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is a guy who relies on his athleticism, his mid-range jump shot. He creates his mid-range jump shot off the dribble. LeBron, is bigger, faster, stronger, and more athletic in every aspect of the game. Is a, premier elite defender. He shuts DeMar down. DeMar just can't do anything. It's not Dwane Casey's fault that DeMar DeRozan can't do anything against LeBron. It's just the type of player that DeMar is. It just can't do anything against LeBron. It's that simple. Kyle Lowry, it's not Dwane Casey's fault that Lowry just disappears when the playoff time comes around. It's not his fault. It's happened every year that he's been with the Raptors. I will give him somewhat of a fault when it comes to the bench play. I understand that he can't go out there and play for them. However, I think he could have put them in a little bit better situations throughout the series to have them have some of the success that they had throughout the season. I think that is a little bit of his fault. But I think with some of those guys, he hasn't had them very long with some of them. So I think if you bring them back, I think, that gels a little bit better and maybe they make a run next year. But I think it boiled down to this. It was either get rid of DeMar, Lowry, or you get rid of the head coach. What's going to please the fans? Well, Toronto loves DeMar DeRozan. They love Lowry. So, of course, you're going to, kick Casey out the door. I understand, but I don't believe that that's the right decision. I think, if you look at it, if you're going to break down shop and get rid of those 2 guys, you have to have a stable coach, a guy who is a quality coach. I don't think he's elite. He's quality, at least. And I think that he was a guy that you could have done that with. What happens next year when you hire this new coach and nothing happens because LeBron's going to probably go to, Philly or somebody, a contender, and he's probably going to stay in the East because he wants to continue to make the playoffs, the finals and stuff like that without having to run into like a Houston or, Golden State. So he's not going to the West. It's just that simple. Topic number 3, we're going to end on, it happened the other night. James Paxton, Mariners starting pitcher, throws a no-no against the Blue Jays. It was either going to happen one or 2 ways. There was not going to be he's going to go out and have a quality start, give up maybe 1 or 2 runs. He was either going to get blasted after his last performance or he was going to do exactly what he did and just shut them down. The previous performance that he threw against the Blue Jays, he had 16 Ks over 7 innings. The dude just dominated everybody, making people just look silly. So I think, going into this game as a fan, I would say that it was going to go one or the other. There was no, that just quality that was going to happen. It was either greatness or not. But like a lot of people have said, some of the plays that Kyle Seager made and those guys out there in the field, you got to have great plays to throw no hitter. He only had, I think, 7 strikeouts or whatever. So, just amazing plays. The layout, diving play that Seager picks up from his knees, throws a dude out of first base. The very last play there where he picks just a screamer that Donaldson hit, and just amazing. Plus, obviously, when you're getting a little bit of offensive production, it's going to relax you a little bit more. It's kind of funny. You hear the whole kind of cheesy thing where they say, "Oh, well, I didn't really know until about the 5th inning." Well, he said that. He said, I didn't, really realize it until the 6th inning. I look up, they've got no hits, and then I see guys, not coming around me, and they asked him about that. They said, did it affect you? He said, not really. He said, I was just going out there, just trying to work on my mechanics and make sure that I'm delivering the ball how I need to be doing it. And I think it's kind of amazing to think about. I mean, you're having such a feat, that you're doing, in the present moment, and you're thinking about the little things, the basic things, like making sure, hey, my front shoulder isn't flying open when I'm delivering the ball, making sure I'm driving off the rubber and, I'm extending correctly. It's just amazing. The last 3 pitches were his best 3 pitches of the night. His best pitch is his fastball, his 4-seam. He throws at 98, 100, and then he drops in a 99-1 there to get on the hands of Donaldson, get him to ground out. But just an amazing performance. Kudos to Paxton. Hope you have more success over the year. As for the Mariners, that's all we have this week. Like I said, check us out next week. Ray Munger is going to be bringing you his college football top 25. I will also obviously have my 3 hot topics that will be out, and we're going to try to get some new material. We're looking into some more podcast stuff with Tanner bringing in some of that element. He's also taking over the Twitter account, looking into some Instagram stuff. But until next time, guys, peace.